Maybe I should put a disclaimer. I'm not sober and I don't normally part my hair this way and I'm not sure how I feel about it. I feel like it looks a little manly. I don't know. We're just gonna go with it because it's already like that. Hello everybody and welcome back to Storytime Sunday. I have not done one of these in months and months and months. I can't remember the last time that I posted one. Today I thought I would sit down with you and share how I lost my best friend. Now she didn't die or anything, so it's not that form of losing. I just posted on Instagram and YouTube community if I should share stories about boys, like guys I dated, weird dates I went on, strange crushes, all that kind of stuff, or if I should share the story of how I lost my best friend. And the majority of you, well, pretty much all of you, except for one person so far, has said to do the best friend story. That's what I'm going to do. I'll share the boy story some other time, I guess. I feel like at first I had all of these really great ideas and all the big topics, and I did all of those first because I was really excited about them. And then I was gonna share kind of a spooky spiritual story around Halloween, and I just never got to it. And now we're like mid-March and I still haven't shared a Storytime Sunday. I'm just busy, obviously, one busy mama. And in order to film these, I usually wait till the kids are in bed or almost in bed because I don't want them to hear what I'm saying because it might be inappropriate for them, or I don't want them to hear what I'm talking about for whatever reason. I need it to be quiet. You know, I need Matt and Bo to be distracted. And if my camera, if I can speak, is wobbling, you're sitting on my lap, and I don't know how to make this straight, so it might just kind of wibble wobble, and hopefully that doesn't bother you. I will not use this friend's name, even though if you know me, you probably know who it is, but let's call her Anna. So Anna and I met, I think, when we were in 8th grade. I want to say she moved from California partway through the school year. She rode my bus. She was in 1 or 2 of my classes. I think she was in my first hour, like my homeroom, maybe something else. I'm not entirely sure. We clicked fairly quickly, started to hang out. She lived in my neighborhood, obviously, since she rode the bus. And she had a sister and a brother, and then I had 2 brothers. So, you know, we were also the youngest of the family, so we had just a lot in common. And our friendship was like any other, you know, silly teenage like friendship. We would have a bunch of sleepovers. We were, you know, texting and talking on AIM. Well, I guess not texting yet because I didn't have a cell phone, but MySpace and AIM were a thing during that time, so I'm showing my age a little. If you remember MySpace or if you used AIM, let me know in the comments down below. But that's how we would talk until we got cell phones. My bad, I'm already starting off and I'm not giving you the right information. But we had a bunch of sleepovers. We were hanging out all the time. We sat together at lunch all the time. You know, we sat next to each other on the bus, all that stuff. Now I will say from when we met, I think it was 8th grade because I remember 9th grade we were like way closer. So I think we met in 8th grade. Was it 7th grade? Anyway, we were very young. So through the years, obviously, we had a lot of like ups and downs. We would have stupid fights, I don't know, normal friend fights. And I feel like we probably fought as like sisters, even though I didn't have a sister. She had an older sister. But I feel like with our relationship, we almost would fight like siblings every once in a while. And, you know, we would have smaller fights and then we did have some bigger blow-ups every once in a while. But for the most part, like, it was great. Everything was fine. She's about 6 months younger than me, I think. So I'm 30 now. I'm pretty sure she's still 29. She was even on the color guard because I was in band and her brother was in band, and so she joined color guard to be involved in something, even though her and I didn't get to spend like any time together because we always had different practice schedules and we were not anywhere near each other on the field or anything like that. But we were in that together as well. And then my brother and her brother were also in band. Again, just a lot of similarities. And we always had, you know, really great times together. We made some really dumb little movies with a camera, with like cans of soda, and I can't even remember what else, like Beanie Babies or something. We did a lot of stupid little video things like that. We would just watch TV, play the Wii all the time, you know, eat, hang out, listen to music, swim. She had a pool, I had a swimming pool. and we were at her house and my house constantly, almost like daily. And I feel like maybe, you know, we kind of got sick of each other after a while, which could be part of those like really big blow-ups, but I feel like that's part of any regular relationship, you know. And even after we graduated high school, we went to California for like a week, I think. We went to Six Flags. I'm pretty sure, for like 2 or 3 days or something. Stayed in a hotel. I drove, and we had cell phones at this time. Obviously we had graduated, but it was before all the phones and cars really had GPS and stuff. So we had to go onto like MapQuest and print out our directions. If you guys also did that, if you used MapQuest, let me know also in the comments down below. I feel like, yeah, nobody uses that anymore. They just use their phones or the GPS navigator in their car. Oh, that's so funny. But my car was not smart, my phone was not smart, so we printed out our directions there and back every step of the way, to the hotel, to the park, we saw a friend that I had met on a cruise. We went over and saw him for a little bit. We had the directions for that, and then all the way back home. We ended up getting lost at some point. It was fun. It was a great time, but we had a really good time. We also had gone to Ireland together because she was part of the band, like I mentioned. So, I mean, we also went to Florida as a band also when she was in color guard. And I had even gone to a different city super far south where her dad was kind of staying or working or whatever. And I went down there to stay with them, had sleepovers there as well. So, I mean, we traveled, you know, a lot together, obviously with other people too in some situations, but you know, we had just gone through like a ton of life, I feel like, not only with school and like bullies and band and boys and stuff with our families. We both lost a pet, I think the same year, so that was really hard. And then her older sister had a baby, so she became an aunt, you know, quite young. So I even babysat her niece a couple of times too. Not that we like raised her or anything like that, but that was just something I feel like that, you know, brought us closer together as well. But even when I was pregnant with Lacey, she's the one that actually gave me her name idea. We were talking about it at her house and we were writing some names down and stuff, and Lacey was actually one of the names that she said she really liked and wanted to use, and then I stole it. So who knows if maybe that's also why she got mad at me. But since I did have kids a lot younger than her and then got married, I mean, even before I was married, that changed a lot of things, because I was 20 when Lacey was born and then 22 when Connor was born. So obviously that's like, you know, you turn 21, you want to go party, you want to go drink a lot, you just want to go have fun. You know, she was single, didn't have any kids, you know, just had her job, so was unattached, didn't have as many responsibilities as I did, and was able to go out, you know, a lot more frequently and stuff. So I feel like that's really where the friendship started to go downhill. She never like disowned me or treated me differently because I had kids necessarily. It's just that our priorities were different. She didn't always want to come over and hang out with me because of the kids, but also I rarely could leave without the kids because Matt and I were working different shifts at the time. So I was working like mornings, and as soon as I got home, he was leaving for work basically. So I didn't really have that much time to go and hang out either, but we did have a few times where we would go get our nails done or go out to dinner or to go see a movie or something like that every once in a while. But otherwise, she was really one of the only friends that stayed with me and didn't judge me and call me crazy or stupid or anything like that when I got pregnant so young. So I mean, that was a good thing. But I feel like after everything that we had, you know, gone through, after all the years we had been friends, so we met when we were what, 13 or something, and I was, you know, 20, 21, 22. So that was like what, 9 years, almost 10 years, give or take, of friendship. That's a long time. I've never even thought about it that way. I've like never done the math and realized how long it had been. But anyway, she was wanting to go out all the time, and like she would still come over every once in a while or during the week, but like Friday night, Saturday night, she was wanting to go out to bars and party and, you know, hang out with friends or have a party at her house. Matt and I, you know, had talked to each other about everything. Like, we were concerned for Anna because she was drinking heavily. She was saying that she would like black out and not remember anything. And there was one time I think she told us that she didn't remember either getting home or getting into this particular car this one night or something like that. I can't remember exactly what it was, but that concerned me. Needed a drink, I was coughing. Anyway, so that just, you know, concerned me because I understand she wanted to have fun, but she also needed to be responsible. Like, she was my best friend. I obviously loved her. I cared for her. We had been friends for years. You know, I didn't officially do it, but we had talked about being each other's like godmothers for our children and stuff like that. So, you know, it's just like I said, everything that we've gone through, everything that we knew about each other and other things that had gone on at home and with other friends and all that stuff. Good night, buddy. Connor just came in to say goodnight, so I don't know exactly where I was. I mean, she wasn't like becoming an alcoholic or anything, so don't get me wrong. She just, you know, wanted to have fun. She was young, unattached, whatever. And we were concerned, right, because of her blacking out and not remembering certain things and stuff like that. I just feel like she was drinking too much. And, you know, Matt and I kind of talked because I was like, how do I bring this up to her nicely? I don't want her to get mad at me, but I want to make sure, like, you know, maybe she backs off a little. So him and I talked about it and brought it up to her, you know, one of the times she came over. And I really truly feel like we brought it up in a very nice way, like in a very concerning way. And maybe we didn't, or maybe it's just because, you know, she was young and didn't want to hear it and it didn't matter to her, kind of a thing. But, you know, we told her that we were concerned and that we think that she should maybe not drink so much, you know, so she can remember where she is. She can make a phone call if she needs to. She can run away if somebody's trying to attack her or whatever, you know. We were like, we don't want you to end up like dead in a ditch somewhere. Like, we're concerned about you, you know. Not quite like an intervention per se, just kind of a friendly, like, hey, you know, you're drinking too much when you drink. And it wasn't like she was drinking every night, like I said, but, you know, her Friday, Saturday nights, if you're blacking out and you can't remember anything and you're doing that every single weekend, like, that's not healthy. That's not okay, you know? So we voiced our concerns, and of course she kind of got upset with us. And, you know, I tried to let her know, like, you know, I'm just looking out for you. You know, I don't want you to like die or wind up, you know, raped or in a situation that you can't get out of. You know, I don't want you like regretting anything. And I know maybe it's not my place to say that, like, let her live her life. I'm just a friend, like, let her do her own thing. If that's what she wants to do, then that's what she wants to do. But I was just, you know, I was just concerned. She's my best friend. I wanted her around, you know what I mean? So I felt like I was fine in saying something to her, especially after, you know, almost 10 years of friendship by this point. So for a little while, we didn't talk as much. She kind of got over it eventually. Like, we agreed not to talk about it or anything because she felt like every time that we would hang out, that's all we would talk about is, you know, her drinking problems and all that kind of stuff. So we agreed to like not talk about it and talk about, you know, other things, her work, her family, the kids, whatever. And still for quite some time, for a few years afterwards, I feel like we were still okay for a little bit. And then we had moved out to a city pretty far away, like 40 minutes almost from where she was. So with a longer drive, it was even harder to hang out and stuff. I had, you know, the 2 kids and we were kind of far away, and I really didn't have a chance to leave anywhere. For whatever reason though, during those times, like Matt or I, you know, were in and out of jobs for quite some time. It was like we were taking turns. We weren't both working at the same time very often out there. Like, we just kind of had bad luck with jobs and stuff. And then for quite some time we only had one vehicle as well. And then she was working and still wanting to obviously spend time with her family and other friends, so it was harder for her to make it out all the way to us. There were a few times where we would meet halfway for dinner or something like that, but the contact just became less and less and less. And it was kind of hard for us to do much with the 2 little kids, especially when I had one vehicle and not a lot of money. So we usually just hung out at our house and would just like watch a movie or just like, you know, hang out, just play with the kids, talk about whatever, that kind of stuff. And I feel like that's not, you know, that's not the life that she wanted. She wanted to go out. She wanted to be with people without kids, wanted to be around single people and whatever, and have more fun than sitting on my couch playing with my kids watching a movie, you know what I mean? And I totally understand that, being 22 by this point and still single and not having kids and stuff like that. But at the same time, I don't know. She could have just accepted it and we could have just pushed through, you know what I mean? Like worked through it, kept contact, all that stuff. So I was still trying, but eventually, you know, she was making excuse after excuse after excuse not to come over, not to hang out. And eventually, you know, she stopped reaching out to me about hanging out. And after I was still trying here and there, and she just either ignored me or said no, and like I said, wasn't reaching out first, I stopped reaching out too, and then she never reached out to me for quite some time. That is what I remember our big falling out being, just kind of growing apart. And I know that that happens and that's okay, but it was just such a bummer, you know what I mean? And she had, you know, visited Lacey in the NICU. She, you know, held Connor when he was like 2 days old or something. So, I mean, she was like a big part of my life and our life, and, you know, got along with my parents and my brothers, and, you know what I mean? Just, she was just a really good person. And I know that all of our other fights, like growing up together when we were a lot younger, maybe that had something to do with it, because like I said, not all of them were pretty. You know, we said some really mean, nasty things to each other, posted things on MySpace we shouldn't, especially me, I feel like. You know, so we had those ups and downs. And then eventually we started to reconnect again. I can't remember who reached out to who, but we were still out living in that city pretty far away. And we agreed to meet up at a restaurant nearby and just kind of talk about everything. And I remember, you know, she was mostly upset, I feel like, about us constantly talking about the drinking thing. We weren't letting her kind of do her own thing. We were acting like her parent, you know, and I was trying to explain that, you know, we were just concerned about her. And, you know, a few years had passed, probably 3-4 years maybe had passed. So she understood a little bit more. And I feel like we had kind of gotten over everything. We laughed about some stuff. We brought up really old things from the past. Archer just sat on the tripod leg, so... But we kind of like hashed it out. You know, we talked about the past, like things from junior high, things from high school, things even after that. And I feel like we, you know, got back on solid ground again. So we started to kind of hang out. I made more of an effort this time, since the kids were a little bit older, to meet her somewhere else rather than her just coming over like all the time, you know. And it was never a thing for me to go to her house or anything. I think she was still living with her brother at this time. I can't completely remember. But we tried to kind of like rekindle that friendship, but there was only so much that we could do, you know, and I still really wasn't able to, because I was working / I lived pretty far away, so I didn't really want to go out drinking to the places she wanted to go to and then not drive home, but like even take a cab all the way back home or whatever, you know. So we kind of started to hang out at my house again and like even play the Wii like we used to, and just kind of get back into that thing of just kind of hanging out at the house with the kids and stuff. Even though I did make more of an effort to make sure that we were, you know, going to dinner, meeting somewhere, it was always like halfway, even a little closer to her. But I think that she realized that maybe we were just not on the same like life path anymore. Like I said, we had grown apart. I don't really know, because she stopped responding eventually. Like, she just stopped reaching out to me. Like the last 2 or 3 times that I had tried to set something up, she ignored me or gave excuses, and it was kind of like going back into that pattern of, you know, not talking and never reaching out to me first kind of a thing. For a little while, like I stopped saying anything, and then I think after like 2 or 3 months or something, I texted her, and I can't remember honestly if she said anything or not. So I just kind of gave up. There was no real explanation as to why she stopped texting me, hanging out with me, talking to me. I can only think and guess and assume from past behavior and what she had going on in her life, and, you know, me with the kids and being married and her being single without kids. And it could just truly be that we grew apart. I feel like we had gotten back on track. Like I said, I was excited to like have her back in my life and hang out with her again and, you know, be around my kids and everything, because she had been around when they were really little. But I don't know, to this day I still don't know. We never really had like closure. We didn't talk about what happened or why it happened or anything like that, which is a bummer. Like, I still think of her and hope that she's great and all that stuff. I mean, I'm friends with her sister on Facebook, and I think I talked about it a while ago, but we were kind of pet sitting for somebody. It happened to be her sister. When they were out of town, they had chickens and cats and fish and dogs. You know, got along with her sister just fine. Her and I never really had any problems, you know what I mean? Nor her brother and I had problems that I am aware of, you know. My parents still are bummed that she's not around because they really liked her as well. Matt thought she was funny. And it's crazy. Lacey does and says things that remind me of her so much. And I look at her and I'm thinking like, man, you look like Anna, or you're talking like her, or whatever. Lacey reminds me so much of me when I was little, but also, I don't know, she's reminded me of Anna lately. And I'm just like, man, if I still was talking to her, I could tell her or show her or whatever, you know what I mean? But she's not around anymore and I don't know why. And I really don't have any other friends. Like, I have some friends or acquaintances, but I don't like hang out with anybody or talk to anybody on a daily basis or anything like that. And I know that obviously as you get older, you have kids, you have a family, you have a husband, a spouse. I mean, life is busy and it is so hard. You have to work so hard to keep friendships and set up times to go out and stuff like that. Like, even for me with like my mom or my sister-in-law, it's like once every, I don't know, 6 months or so do we get together and we go out to dinner and have like a girls' night or something like that, because we're just busy, you know. And I totally understand that. That's how life is. But I feel like I did my part and I was trying to keep our friendship afloat, and she just kind of like ghosted me. And I don't really know why. I know that she does have like another best friend, which is great. I don't know if that's why, you know, like she was also single and, you know, she just wanted to do her own thing. I feel like I've said that a bunch of times, but I really don't have an answer exactly as to why or what happened, or if I did anything, or if I said anything, or just what happened. I don't know, because I got ghosted basically. So that's kind of the story, I guess. I don't know if you would have preferred me go into more detail from when we were younger in our fights or what we went through or whatever, but I don't know. I feel like some things are kind of personal, and even though we don't talk anymore, like, I don't know what she would want me to say. Do you know what I mean? So, I don't know. Also, random, I got sunburnt when we went to the park the other day, so that's why my neck looks so red. I just realized it's like really, really noticeable. Yeah, I got sunburnt in March at the park, because that's Arizona for you. But anyway, that will wrap up today's Storytime Sunday, I guess. Let me know in the comments down below your thoughts, your feelings. Am I in the wrong? Am I in the right? You know, do you think the same thing? We just grew apart? I mean, I don't know. You can let me know your thoughts down below. Please consider subscribing if you have not already. I plan to do a Storytime Sunday at least once a month. Maybe every other Sunday, but at least once a month. I'm going to try and get back on track with that. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. And you can also head over to Instagram or Facebook to follow me there as well if you would like. I usually share it in my Instagram stories daily, just behind the scenes, cats, kids, what I eat in a day, memes, random fun shenanigans, and whatever I feel like posting over there. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you're having an amazing day, and I will see you next time. Bye!